What's up, everyone, and welcome to The Point. I am Alex Wehrley, filling in for Anna, who is on vacation, and it must be a long vacation because we are doing a double-decker show for you today, and it is going to be a very fun show. I am joined by Nate Clark, triple threat musician, comedian, and actor. How's it going, Nate?
It's great. It's great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you're a first-timer.
I am. Yeah.
Welcome.
Ooh.
No, it's
Popping my point cherry. Yeah.
And I'm a first-timer hosting, so we will get through this together. Oh, actually, Robby, Motz, you are going to have to ride this wave with us because you've been a panelist before.
Stay with me, kids. You'll be okay.
Yes, exactly. YouTube personality. So glad you're here. So coming up, the NYPD is boycotting a Quentin Tarantino film. We will tell you why. Plus, we've got some bad news for bacon lovers. Processed meats may rank alongside smoking as one of the leading causes of cancer. And would you endorse a dildo company for $1 million? That is a decision that Justin Bieber needs to make. I'm not kidding here. But first, we start with Quentin Tarantino. Director Quentin Tarantino joined a political activist group on the streets in New York to protest against police brutality. He also spoke to a crowd of protesters in Washington Square Park about the tragic loss of lives like Tamir Rice.
Cleveland, Ohio. On November 22nd, 2014, Tamir was playing with a toy gun in the park. After a 9/11 call where the person calling said the gun was probably a fake and the person holding it was probably a juvenile, the police rushed onto the scene and shot Tamir within 2 seconds. Then they knocked down and handcuffed his sister and locked her in the police car. And they would not allow his mother to hold her lifeless child who lay dead in the street. After almost a year, there's been no charges filed and not even a grand jury selected.
Very powerful speech there, but this is where the story gets even better, okay? The New York Police Department is now asking people to boycott Tarantino films, all right? Now, the rally was the third in a series of protests by activist group Rise Up October to speak out against police brutality. Now, I think both sides, Quentin Tarantino and the NYPD, definitely have the right to protest, but I think Quentin Tarantino definitely has the better cause. I mean, police brutality is a conversation that deserves to be talked about, whereas the NYPD protesting or boycotting Quentin Tarantino films, to me, just seems like an immature 8th grade move, basically being like, because you don't agree with us, I'm going to reject you. So I want to know what you guys think. Nate, make your point.
I think it was great that he did it. I really think anytime a celebrity uses their celebrity to sort of bring awareness to a cause, I didn't know anything about the Rise Up October movement. Obviously, I know Black Lives Matter because they've been getting all the press. And I think him taking the opportunity to use his celebrity to push the conversation forward is a great thing, whether you agree with him or not. And everybody should agree with him because it's an important issue.
Absolutely. Robby, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great what Quentin is doing, but I think I think it's such a horrible move that NYPD has done, offering the sort of backlash to that rally because they're speaking out against police brutality. They're not saying down with NYPD. So it comes off as NYPD is defending the actions of those select police officers, which I think is. No, they obviously, right? They obviously acted incorrectly. Why can't you join in us and say that those police officers did not act appropriately, but we will? I think they're taking ownership of someone else's mistakes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Not only is it immature, it's also in poor taste because indirectly they're kind of saying what you're saying doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they're not taking the police brutality seriously. So here's the personal question. How do you protest something you don't agree with? Robby, we'll start with you this time.
With humor. All the time. So, and maybe that's because I don't like direct confrontation with people, but, I really should maybe get into satire videos. I think I would enjoy that. But for the most part, when I'm talking to people, either who have opposing views or, are confused about a subject or whatever, and I want to convey a point, oftentimes I will kind of with humor and easy to understand terms, kind of explain those things. I don't get angry with signs. I'm not good at that. I don't think I'm intimidating looking, so I don't want to go out. I don't know. That's not who I am. So I like to kind of mock the issue in a way that hopefully makes people realize the contrasting viewpoint.
Yeah, I feel like people are more apt to listen if there's a comedic element. I mean, that's why The Daily Show does so well. It's serious topics, but in a funny light. How about you? How do you protest things?
I took a dump on somebody's car once.
Okay, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as humor,
I think
though,
it's
too.
is that protest or was that just?
Yeah, no, it was. I was personally protesting something, but yeah, I mean, and I acknowledged it. I said, "Hey, this is a thing that I just did because you deserved it."
That's my protest on your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm a typical millennial. I take to social media, so I use the hashtags, give my 2 cents. And have you noticed that people often change their Facebook profile picture in support of different causes?
Yeah.
I definitely do that as well. But let us know, what do you think? How do you protest something? And what do you think about the NYPD boycotting a Quentin Tarantino film? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. A political artist was refused a bulk order of Lego for an upcoming art piece in Australia, exploring freedom of speech, ironically. Now, Weiwei announced the rejection in an Instagram post. He calls the refusal an act of censorship and discrimination. Lego says they cannot approve of the toys for political works. So, of course, the most natural thing came next. Kids took to Twitter, and they were in support of Weiwei, saying, "Hey, you can have my Legos." So Jacqueline Hu said Lego won't support Weiwei, label his art political. James wants to send Lego to Weiwei and make his brilliant art. Dave Hall said, at Lego_group, this is about 10% of our hashtag Lego collection. We won't be buying more. Weiwei, you're welcome to borrow it. Benjamin Grant says, who says Lego's not political? Hashtag Legos for Weiwei. has organized Lego collection points in different cities, which is pretty amazing. One involved a parked car for people to pour the Legos through the sunroof. He plans to announce the new locations on Twitter and Instagram, and his studio is also taking donations by mail. Now, Lego has responded to this. They're saying anyone is welcome to Lego bricks via normal sales channels for their projects. We see thousands of projects daily. We just cannot offer direct bulk purchases to facilitate such projects. We hope this helps to explain things. Weiwei has previously been detained by Chinese authorities for his work as a political activist. Now, I think this is just a safe business move. I mean, Legoland is coming to Shanghai soon. I think that Lego wants their next Lego movie to do great in China. So do I get it? Yes. Do I think it's warranted? No. To me, it's pretty innocent. I mean, he wants to make art. Yes, it's political, but it's regarding freedom of speech, people. What do you think? Robby, let's start with you.
I understand they have the right to do what they did, the Lego company, but I do think I think they made the wrong move, actually, because I don't think China or anyone is going to look at Lego and be like, "What, you're condoning this?" And it's like, no, he just used our product. Like, I don't think necessarily giving, like he wants to buy Legos by giving him Legos that he wanted to buy. I don't think that's condoning his project necessarily. So I get it. I get why they did it necessarily. Like why they would think doing that would be a smart move, but I disagree with it.
Right. Nate, go ahead and make your point.
I disagree that they have the right to deny a bulk sale. If that's something that they actually offer to other artists, or my understanding is that the National Museum in Australia tried to place the order for him. And if that's something that other people are allowed to do, to make a bulk purchase like that, they shouldn't have a right, I think, in a free market and in a free country like Australia, to say, sorry, we're not going to sell to you specifically on your political, religious, racial, whatever background.
So you agree with Ai Weiwei that it's discrimination?
100%. And I understand that Lego did it for really political and business economic reasons to not tick off that market in China, but I think the rest of the world should be pissed at Lego.
And they are. They're taking to Twitter. All right, personal question. What's a creative way you express yourself? Let's start with you, Nate.
I write a lot. I write a lot of stuff. I write professionally, but I also write a lot of stuff that nobody will ever read because it's just a way for me to get my feelings out to myself. So.
Love it. Robby, how about you?
I really, it's funny kind of when you're in this industry, sometimes my creative expression is like my job, and but I think I should kind of go back to like what my hobbies are. I realized the other day, like I don't have enough hobbies. I'm not doing enough hobbies. And so actually, I loved to dance, actually, when I was younger. I used to dance all the time. I used to take classes. I used to take martial arts, too, which was kind of similar, and I think I missed that. Maybe I'll kind of go back into that, but that was a really great way to just kind of physically express myself.
That's funny you say that, because I grew up as a dancer too, and at some point, being an adult, I was like, I don't have time for it. It's, it doesn't help my goals, so I'm gonna take a break from it. But just recently, I started taking dance classes again, just for the hell of it, just because I enjoy it and it's fun and it's a nice way to stay inspired, is being in touch with your hobbies. So what do you think? What's a creative way that you express yourself? And what do you think about Weiwei and this Lego feud? Whose team are you on? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. There may be one more reason to cut back on red meat. Yes, I am sorry. The World Health Organization says bacon, ham, and sausages rank alongside cigarettes as a major cause of cancer. They also say cured and processed meats are in the same category as asbestos, alcohol, arsenic, and tobacco. What? I just can't even wrap my head around this. The WHO says there was enough evidence to rank processed meats as group 1 carcinogens because of a causal link with bowel cancer. Eating red meat is also linked to pancreatic and prostate cancer. And the International Agency for Research on Cancer says each 50-gram portion of processed meat eaten daily increased the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. You get the point. It's not supposed to be good for you. It advises eating products such as ham, bacon, and salami as little as possible. And this is especially disappointing to me because there's also been recent research that says that there's not as strong of a link between red meat and heart disease. So when I heard that, I was like, all right, it's go time. I'm having red meat 3 to 5 times a week. I'm not even kidding you. I eat so much red meat. And then I read this and I'm like, oh, now I might have to reevaluate. All right, Robby, let's start with you. Make your point.
So what, is this, I think it's only with processed meats, right? So maybe is that true, or is there
processed meat? So yeah, maybe like a steak you could get away with.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm actually a vegetarian.
Okay,
so that was a misdirect.
Good.
That was a total misdirect. Yeah. So I actually, reading this, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even care. Move on.
Yes, but I am sympathetic to those who love their meat, and I actually don't think this is going to stop many people from eating meat. I really don't. I think if you're gonna eat meat, you're gonna eat meat.
You're probably right. Nate, are you a meat eater, and what do you think about this?
I was pescatarian for 12 years.
What is up with all these pescatarians?
But I just started eating meat again a few years ago because I love bacon. I love it. It's so good. But I guess I love my cancer-free asshole more than so I'm going to really seriously cut back on that. I think the most exciting thing about this story is that there's a lobbying group called the North American Meat Institute, which that really...
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. I was surprised by that. So.
All right. Well, what is your favorite classic recipe that you grew up with?
I love chicken parm. It's really hard to fuck that up. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's a classic.
Chicken, fried, cheese, red sauce.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robby, how about you?
My grandma was Danish, so growing up, we used to make what was called frikadellers, and they're like Danish meatballs, which is basically ground beef and then like egg, flour, salt, pepper.
Oh, nice.
And it's really good. You like put in the oven and like bake it. So that was like the one thing I learned how to cook, and then and for a while was kind of my favorite food.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'm very much so a meat and potatoes girl. Like, I definitely grew up on steaks. I remember the first time my grandma saw me at 6 years old eat an entire New York strip, and she's like, how did you eat that whole thing? And I was like, I'm a hungry girl, Nana. So yeah, still to this day, love my steak, but now I might have to alter that a little bit. How about you? Are you gonna stop eating red meat if you do eat meat? And also, what is your favorite classic recipe? Let us know in the comment section below, and we will see you soon. So Halloween is right around the corner, so of course many stores are advertising their most popular costumes. And as you can imagine, one mother was very surprised when she came across a Target ad featuring a girl with braces and arm crutches. Jen Kroll, whose daughter is disabled, posted the ad on Facebook with the following message. My daughter with arm crutches and prosthetic legs is going to flip when she sees this. Including children with special needs into advertising makes them less of a spectacle to the general public when they venture out into the real world. Normalizing disabilities in children is priceless. I could not agree more. Her 6-year-old daughter, Gerencia, joined the Kroll family in 2010 following the Haiti earthquake. Her hip sockets never properly developed and her legs were amputated 2 years ago. She now wears prosthetic legs and gets around with the help of arm crutches. Target has previously featured a girl with Down syndrome in their ads and recently combined girls and boys toys, which I love. And not only is this great for this group of people to be represented like they deserve, but it's great for everyone else because I think sometimes we're afraid of what we don't know, and advertising is that one way that we can be introduced to different groups of people. So I love this. Nate, we're going to start with you. Make your point.
I think this is wonderful. I mean, the story just really warmed my heart. That sounds so cheesy, but my mom worked in special ed when I was growing up, and so I feel like having that population shown in mainstream advertising is great. And I think that Target has really focused on increasing diversity in their advertising campaigns, TV, all of it for the last few years, and I just think it's wonderful. So.
Absolutely. Robby, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same.
I'd be a little concerned if you guys did the story. Get out of here.
No, but what I also really liked was, upon hearing it, I was kind of like, I wonder if that would throw me off at all. And actually, when I saw the advertisement, I was like, that just seems normal as hell. Like, it just didn't at all, I think, it didn't
faze you.
Didn't faze me.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I would have noticed it if I was just flipping through a magazine, to be honest.
I agree. I think she fit right in there.
Yeah.
It was as adorable as could be. What group do you think is still very underrepresented in advertisements that you'd like to see more of? Let's start with you, Nate.
Poor people.
But how do you show that they're poor?
You know what I would have liked? I would like some of those kids. I would like to see their parents standing behind them, sort of just like
looking at bills.
Looking at the bills and just being like, oh, I just spent $30 on this Halloween costume the kid's never gonna wear again.
So people who are more money conscious, not like flaunting their money as much. Is that what you mean?
Not everybody's happy when they're shopping.
Okay,
so.
Now I'm tracking with you. I thought you were like, show homeless people or something. I was like, where are you going with this? Okay.
Yeah, homeless people like in Abercrombie and Fitch. And you're like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Robby, what do you think?
I actually have sort of a similar answer. I want to see more average-looking people in advertising. Just like really, really average-looking people. So like, going to the DMV average, right? Because to me, like...
They could do a casting right there.
I'm
the
just saying,
saddest place on earth.
You, come with me. You're going to be in a Target.
Get an advertisement, and you get an advertisement.
Because you know what, like with like Calvin Klein, they have like the super handsome, like clean cut, whatever. I'm like, of course, like you look good in that suit. But if like there's like a really, really average dude that's like, and then he happens to look really good in a suit, I'm like, that's a good suit.
Yeah,
that's a really good suit. He looks great in that. And he might not look good in everything. So that's what I think.
I'm on the same page with you. I want to see more diversity, especially when it comes to shapes and sizes. We've made a lot of progress in that area, but we're still not quite there. And there's so much pressure, especially on women, to be a certain shape and size. So to celebrate more diversity in that area would be really, really great. Yeah. But we want to know what you think. What group of people would you like to see in advertisements more? And what do you think about this Target ad? If you don't like it, I'm definitely going to question your ethics and your opinions. But say whatever you want, all right? Comment below, and we'll see you next time. Have you looked in your panty drawer lately? Are you missing any underwear? If so, police may know where it is. All right, so while conducting a routine check on a suspicious van, they found hundreds of stolen bras and underwear. I am not kidding you. Exactly 285 worn bras and 185 worn panties. Keyword worn. Ew! According to Chinese police, a man confessed to stealing the lingerie over a period of 3 years. So this wasn't just like a one-time incident. 3 years, people. Police say the thief used a custom-made tool like a fishing rod to steal the undergarments. The man said he started stealing only a few times, but then he couldn't stop himself. He just had to steal and steal and steal. And apparently, this is a regular occurrence in China. In late 2014, another Chinese man was arrested for stealing more than 2,000 sets of women's underwear from his neighbors over the course of a year. Now, I recently discovered this is a real fetish, thanks to Orange is the New Black, who has like a whole thing about it, where the inmates create this business about selling worn underwear, and it's a real thing. I Googled it last night. I'm really afraid of what kind of Google ads I'm gonna be getting in the future now, but there are sites where it legally connects people who have worn underwear to people who want to buy this. It's a huge fetish, but in this case, this guy's flat out stealing and invading all these women's privacy. So this guy, okay, fine, have your fetish, just don't steal, is my opinion. What do you guys think? Nate, let's start with you.
I agree 100%. I mean, I'm not ever going to judge somebody's fetish as long as it's safe and doesn't hurt anybody else.
It.
Yeah, and if you're paying for it, I mean,
if it's legal and both parties are in agreement.
Yeah, if he likes dirty panties, he should be procuring them through legal channels. I don't understand the mechanics of how he stole this many sets. I mean, I have like maybe 3 pairs of underwear in rotation at any given time, and it's like
I'm proud of you.
I do a lot of laundry. How do people not notice and call the police earlier when their panties started missing?
Yeah, that's, I mean, one, yeah.
Girls are a little different. We have a lot more than 3, so I wouldn't notice if I had a thong missing or something.
But I gotta say, like,
I wouldn't. Unless it was like my favorite one, but.
No, well, yeah. And so, like, maybe that's how it finally got caught. You know, it was like favorite thong was missing. But like, on it, like this to me sounded more like a wacky movie pitch than like a real like really like a fishing rod. Really?
I know, right? It's just comical.
It's just it sounds almost like some kind of weird adult Dr. Seuss kind of character walking around, like, you know, and it just. But in some really weird way, like the fact that he did it this much, I'm almost like, you know what, dude, if that never got old for you, if that stayed like a fresh, like, I'm like, you know, kind of good for you, bad, but like kind of, you know, like he's doing what he loves.
I think we're in OCD territory with this.
He needs to start a business, you know, he needs to be the middleman, but do it legally. But yeah, this is not a joke. This is real life, people. Wow. What's an item you have that has sentimental value? Robbie, let's start with you.
I tend to not actually have lots of things that I assign value to, but, you know, like, so I have, like, my childhood blanket, my fuzzy blanket, you know, that would be sad if something were to happen to that. It's stowed somewhere. But what is funny, though, is I was going through my room lately, just kind of, like, putting everything in boxes and stuff, and I found, among, like, other childhood things, just, like, a lot of rocks. Like, as a kid, I just kept a lot of rocks, I guess. And so as I was, like, going through my closet, I was like, what? This is a volcanic rock. This is, like, a weird, like, I was like, why did I just, like, kept rocks in, like, weird random places.
Are you going to do anything with them?
I'm thinking of, like, I got to put, like, a little, like, section of just, you know, like, a little, like, rock altar that they can just kind of exist or something. But I was like, why as a kid? Apparently that had value to me as a kid.
Rock fetish.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call, yeah, okay.
You need a rock tumbler. Turn it into some jewelry or
No,
something,
a collection.
right?
Yeah.
That's more accurate to say.
Exactly.
It's a collection.
Yes.
I like it. And Nate, how about you?
I still have the alto saxophone I started playing in the 4th grade.
Oh.
And big nerd. And it hasn't been played in many, many years, but it takes up a big chunk of my closet, so it sits there.
Cool. So my wedding band is my prized possession because it was my grandmother's. It's an heirloom. So every time that I look down, I think of her and my husband, of course. So yeah, that is definitely. And my husband. So that is mine. What is yours? Let us know your prized possession. And what do you think about the panty stealer? Do you agree with them or not? Let us know in the comment section below, and we will see you soon. A coffee lounge in Australia is saying NO to sweaty cash. That's right. The Facine Coffee Lounge says customers are pulling the cash from their bras and underwear, and it's very, very hot and humid in Carnarvon. So you put the two and two together, and the employees are not very happy about receiving the sweaty cash. So the cafe put up this sign saying, "We do not accept money from bras and underpants." In response to concerns over hygiene, the owner, Corey Weeks, says, "Well, we had a lot of people, no offense to women, but women, pulling money out of their bras right in front of us at the counter. Carnarvon has hot and humid weather, so it gets pretty sweaty in there. Money is already so dirty, we don't need the sweat too. Remember, we're handling food. The staff didn't like it happening, so I said, let's just put up a sign." And surprisingly, customers are not too upset about this, so that's good. And you know what? I understand this. I don't want to be served food from an employee who's been handling sweaty cash. But I should also note, I understand these females' predicament because I have been guilty of working out, going for a walk or run and putting cash in my sports bra. But I also live in a location where it's like 75 degrees every single day, so I don't have to deal with swoob very often, if you know what I mean. So it's a little bit different of a situation. I understand why they wouldn't want to receive sweaty cash. Robby, what do you think about this?
Can we just call it swoob money now?
Swoob money.
That sounds like a rap song.
Swoob money. Yeah, coming at you.
Now it sounds like kind of sexy.
Yeah,
with
right?
Swoob money.
Swoob money. I think, again, the business, I think they have a right to say that, and I think it is a lot better than the inverse of saying, please, only cash from sweaty bras and underwear. So I just want to point that out. I think
that is true.
On the direction, they went in the right direction with this. But, and I also think that there's a good, possibly, business investment for someone who wants to create a bra with a little pocket inside the bra.
I would really appreciate that. I don't have time to create it, so one of you out there, please do.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's yours. You can have that. Okay.
Nate, what do you think?
I think it's great that they did this. I think people are gross. And I think as a society, Western society as a whole, people are just eating sushi on the subway and doing all kinds of disgusting things. And, if they want to shut it down, more power to them. So. All
right, here's a personal question. Would you rather have it be extremely hot or extremely cold? Robby, what do you think?
I'm extremely cold. I used to I used to answer the opposite for this question where I liked it really hot. And then, because I was afraid of what cold was, because I grew up in LA, then I got out there and I realized I'd rather be in pain than to be completely debilitated by heat. When it's super hot, I'm useless. I'm a mess. I can't. I'm angry. I'm irritated. But when I'm cold, I'm in pain and I'm in lots of layers. But at least I'm frosty. I'm on my toes and I can keep doing things. So.
Robby, have you ever been to Wisconsin?
No.
I am from Wisconsin, and I will be the first to tell you that coldness can be very, very debilitating.
Wow. Well, yeah. So maybe my extreme cold is 0 degrees Fahrenheit at the, and I've never
not
gone.
-30. Yeah. You might change your mind if you experience that, but no, that's good. Nate, how about you?
Extreme cold, because I think you can always find a way to make yourself warm or warmer, and I think yeah.
Interesting. See, I'm from Wisconsin, so you would think I would say extreme cold because I'm, supposed to be used to it. But actually, I would rather have it be extremely hot. I just like being hot. I love being in saunas, hot tubs, Bikram yoga. I just love it. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I feel
too sweaty and gross
I'm a
for you
sweaty
guys?
kind of a person.
Yeah.
I'm actually, that's I'm a little known for being sweaty. So just anything to avoid that.
I feel like you lean one way or the other. What about you? Which way do you lean? Would you rather have it be really hot or really cold? And what do you think about the sweaty cash? Do you think that they were warranted to put up that sign? Let us know in the comment section below, and we will see you soon. There is an unclaimed package with 50 pounds of marijuana in it, and the New Jersey police want to know who it belongs to. This is how it was discovered. It was sent to a resident's home, but it was the wrong name on the address. So they described it as a suspicious parcel to the police when they called them. They opened it to try and get some more information, and they found the packing slip and also a lot of marijuana, 50 pounds worth. The police posted pics of the weed on Facebook saying, if you were expecting these packages and would like to claim them, please come to police headquarters. A detective said the loot could be worth $100,000, depending on the strand of marijuana. Now, when I first read this article, I was like, there is no way that somebody's going to come forward and claim this. But then I remembered a story a while back where a criminal liked his headshot on Facebook that was posted to a police department's Facebook page. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Criminals can be that dumb sometimes. Like, maybe they will be like, yeah, I'm not missing out on my $100,000 worth of marijuana. I'm going to come claim it. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think? Nate, let's start with you.
I think some drug dealer got fired.
Yeah, right.
Or
Or lost a customer. One or the two.
Yeah. And I think some police are probably pretty high right now. I don't know if that, I said it.
Yeah, if there's $90,000 worth versus $100,000 when the person claims it, we know who was smoking it.
Yeah, we know.
Robby, what do you think?
Well, I'm curious to know if that police department is like busier than ever now. If people are like, that's my weed, and it's like, oh, are you blah blah blah? No, well, get out. I wonder if like there are people like trying to claim weed that's not theirs. But I also really want to know the alternate story of like, what if that couple that received that package just like decided to like open it and then it was like. Like, that'd be like, right? It's like, whoa, gift from the gods, whoa! Like, so I don't know. Like, I think missed opportunity for that couple, just saying,
New business.
Yes, you may be onto something. Okay, here's a personal question. What's something you've lost that you're still upset about? Nate, let's start with you.
This is so nerdy, but my dad gave me a pair of Takahashi flutes once, which are, did you ever see Kung Fu, the TV show Kung Fu? Okay, never mind. But it's like that. It's made out of bamboo. It's like made out of bamboo,
okay,
so it has like that. Yeah, very peaceful sound. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think anyone would steal them. Like, why would anyone steal them? But if you did steal them, please return them to the studio.
Little PSA here.
They disappeared, and I've always regretted that.
Oh, Robby, how about you?
I'm just picturing someone like, oh my God, I Takahashi flute. Running away.
Yeah, well.
But I have a really nerdy answer too. There was an old computer game that I played as a kid. It was called Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, and it's this completely underrated game that was like amazing. You had your own Jurassic Park, and you made it. I loved it so much. And I lost it. I couldn't find it, and so I looked it up on Amazon because I wanted to replace it, and it's going for like $200 now. I mean, like, and it hasn't been remade. So, like, listen, make that game again, please. Whoever, please remake that game. That would be wonderful. So I'm still upset about that. I'm like, oh.
Mine's kind of serious. So I competed at Miss USA in 2009, and I had a jewelry sponsor who lent me a ton of really expensive jewelry. I put it in this safe in my Las Vegas hotel room, but the safe wasn't working. Admittedly, I didn't take too many steps to try and get it working, but I came back to my hotel room one day, and $7,000 worth of jewelry was stolen. Probably by the cleaning lady, because I mean, who else is in the hotel room, but they were never able to prove it. The good news in this story is the insurance covered it for the jewelry owner, so that was like the only saving grace. But oh my gosh, I felt so bad, and still to this day I feel bad, because I learned a lesson the hard way, and that's, you can't always trust strangers.
Yeah.
So,
and people shouldn't trust you with nice things.
Apparently, right? No, I learned my lesson. So if you want to give me something expensive, please go ahead. I'm really good now about keeping things safe. What's something you've lost that you are still upset about? And also, what do you think about all this weed at the police department? Do you think somebody's going to claim it, or do you think the police are going to smoke it? I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. Have you ever moved into a new home or apartment and wondered, I wonder if someone has died in here? Well, now you can actually find out. Starting at $11.99, diedinhouse.com will search for murders, suicides, suspicious or natural deaths that have occurred at a certain address. The site can also search for meth lab activity or fires. The database has 4.5 million houses in it so far, so a lot, and several customers, 30,000, have done house searches. Now, many states have very lax laws when it comes to disclosing deaths and crimes to future buyers. For instance, Pennsylvania and Massachusetts, they don't require disclosure of former crimes on the property. And other states like South Dakota and Alaska require would-be buyers to be appraised of any murders or suicides on the property for just in the last 12 months. Now, in some high-profile cases, addresses are actually changed to conceal the morbid history. So, like, for instance, in the John Benet Ramsey case, you remember that one? She was murdered there in 1996. They changed the address. But a representative from Died in House is onto this, saying that they will update those addresses so the future buyer knows the history of the home regardless of what the current address is. So I actually totally get this one. I'm actually kind of superstitious about spirits and stuff. And one time asked a landlord when I was moving into an apartment if somebody had died in this apartment. Not because I had any reason to believe it, but just because I'm kind of a paranoid weirdo sometimes. And I know, I get really paranoid about things, y'all. It's kind of weird. I might have a problem, but that's another story. So yeah, he kind of looked at me and laughed and was like, no, not to my knowledge. Was in Texas, where I don't believe you have to reveal that. So Robby, what do you think about this?
This is actually information I want to avoid, you know, like never mind pay for. So like if someone was like, oh yeah, and you might want to know a couple years ago, I'd be like, is it cleaned? Is it good? Is it done? Cool. Like, you know, the only time I'd want to know is if I'm like, hey, are those bloodstains? And then if they were like, yeah, those are bloodstains, then I'd want to know that. But like,
it wouldn't be a deal breaker for you. No, like this apartment had a dead person in it. This apartment didn't. I'm gonna choose the one that didn't.
No, for me, I'm like, people die. Like that's what happens.
It's a part of life, the last part, but yeah.
Like as long as they're no longer there, then I'm happy. Like,
right,
you know, that would be concerned.
See, I feel like that's a more normal answer. Like, I think I'm just the weirdo of the group. But what about you, Nate?
I agree with Robby. I'm sorry. I mean, and I do believe in ghosts, and I'm super superstitious. But I don't want to. I don't want to know. Like, I'm not. I also think that Died in House needs a better website. Not better. Better is maybe not the right term. Maybe a spookier website because
it looks so nice, doesn't it?
It does look so. It's very pedestrian, neighborhoody, and I think if they had some scary ghosts, people would maybe give them that $12.
Yeah, if it's like a black, you know.
Yeah. Some music.
Yeah.
Remember when they used to do that? Put music on the website.
Like,
and then around Halloween, there'd be like an influx of customers.
Yeah, 30% off. Yeah, exactly.
If you were selling your house, what's one thing the new owners wouldn't want to know? Or giving up your apartment if you live in an apartment? We'll start with you.
Strangers have sex on my lawn.
Okay,
I'm sure that's the selling point for some people, but for me, it's not.
Do you live in a single-family home?
Yeah, I do, and so
it's your lawn.
Yeah, it's my lawn. It's not my condom that I find in the yard so on occasion. Yeah, and I came home once I was performing at the Groundlings, and I came home at like 12:30 on a Saturday night and found two guys. They were.
Okay,
somebody was giving somebody a blowjob in the driveway. There's no fence, but I'm putting a fence up actually tomorrow. The fence is coming, so just did the privacy hedge. And,
I'm a little like they're open. They're that open.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? West Hollywood. It's a party. Not for me, but yeah.
You should set up a camera and then like start playing really loud music when you see them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some kind of like sensor alarm. It plays some like soft jazz music. Actually, you just like so they're like
put them in the mood.
They're aware. Gross. They want this. Yeah.
Sometimes I fantasize about getting like a blowgun, like just to shoot darts into somebody's butt. Like fuck off my lawn.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Robby, how about you?
Probably that the walls are just made of like paper mache or like a slight step above that. Like, I mean, like I swear to God, like my brother one time was like really, he was really angry and about something, and he was like, and he like not super hard, but punched the wall, and easily his fist just went through the wall like no problem, and we're like, and it was like hollow, and I swear, so I think it's cardboard. I really did, and that was one thing that I don't think we were fully aware of. You know, we got it at we're like, oh, this is a nice price, and it's probably because the walls are
cheap.
Yeah. Mine's actually very similar, except for I live in an apartment complex. The inside, gorgeous, remodeled, but the walls, they're old, and you can hear everything. I'm not kidding you. I can hear my neighbor snoring. And I can hear her cell phone conversations word per word. And this girl is very opinionated. So sometimes I'm like, I do not need to hear what you think about Orange is the New Black when I haven't seen the 10th episode yet.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right? So what do you think, if you were selling your house, what's one thing the new owners would not want to know? And what do you think about this website that lets you know if somebody died in your house? Would you want to know? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. Sometimes you get upset and just need to throw things. At least that's the case with 14-year-old Aaliyah in Virginia. She is now facing, check this out, assault and battery charges after throwing a baby carrot at a school teacher. She was leaving class when she spotted her former teacher in the hallway at her middle school. She reached into her pocket, grabbed the old carrot she didn't finish from lunch, and hit this woman in the forehead, unintentionally, according to the 14-year-old, but administrators claim that the carrot was used as a weapon. Now, the girl maintains that, again, this was a joke, and she was suspended from the school for an entire month. A legal expert says the softness of the carrot could make a difference in her punishment. Whether it was a joke or not, it's not okay. It's offensive. Do I think it's warranted for her to be suspended? Yes, and she probably needs a good talking to as well. But should she be charged with assault? I think that's a little extreme when it's probably just a 14-year-old who needs to learn a lesson. What do you guys think? Robby, let's start with you.
I didn't know carrots could be a weapon, actually.
Right?
And I'm like, if someone proposed to me like, yeah, you have to kill someone with a carrot, I would be like, you can't, like, that's amazing if you even can use that as a weapon. So one, I think it's ridiculous. I think, yes, she should be suspended or given detention. Like, yeah, right, that seems normal. Like, they're like, oh, why'd you do that? Detention, you're in trouble. Like, but I don't know if the teacher like flopped and fell on the floor.
Really
you know, like,
dramatically.
oh, like, or something
Slow
like that.
motion.
But like,
Yeah.
oh God. But it's just like, who in the world gets that? Like, oh, woe is me. Well, I have medical bills. Like, who gets that pent up about like it's a baby carrot too.
She must have really not liked this former student.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, I'm gonna ruin your life. Like, remember when I said I was gonna ruin your life? That's now, you know, like.
Yeah.
But
seems extreme to me, but
I think it's ridiculous.
I don't think it's ridiculous at all. Like I'll
Assault
play the other
charges?
side. Yeah. Well, I don't know what the lesser charge would be for that, but I definitely think she needs to be taught a lesson. I mean, 14 is old enough to know not to throw things at people's faces, like especially not a teacher who's an authority figure.
Yeah.
No, I think she needs to be disciplined, and I also think that the most fascinating part of this story was that they're investigating whether the carrot was soft or not to determine. And all I just kept thinking was like, why would someone have a soft baby carrot in their pocket? Like, the person that's doing that,
how do you measure that? Like how much it squeezes?
It's like, as you can
Like,
see,
the
compared to
noise
these
it
other
makes?
baby carrots, this is a particularly soft baby carrot.
Right?
It's
Like,
just gross. But nobody does that without like a malicious intention.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I agree that it's not acceptable. I think suspension totally warranted. I just think the assault charges in particular are going
I think
a
it could have
little
been handled by
far.
the school, you know, like, and then that's it, you know, just
Yeah.
like, oh, you have to, you know, do a very minor punishment.
Yeah, but she definitely needs some discipline and a talking to. So if she were your child, how would you discipline her? Nate, let's start with you.
I would publicly humiliate her.
Oh!
I would make her, if this was my kid, I'm talking to my future kid. If this was my kid, she would be filming an apology YouTube video.
Oh my gosh, I
in
feel
like a
bad for
horrendous
your
costume. Like
child.
she would have like a
carrot
sign on that
costume.
says "I make bad choices" or just something awful. Yeah, and make it go viral.
You know, I love that a lot. I was gonna say something along, you know, the lines of like, really, you did that, you know, like, and make her feel dumb. But I think that's great. I would want her to, like, I would make a video where she's like the carrot thrower. Yeah. She's like, I really hate this, Dad. I'm like, exactly. Don't throw
100%.
things.
So I'm actually going to be a loving parent, and I would just
It's a different kind of love.
I would just, talk to her. And something that worked with me when I was growing up is my mom would take something away from me that I was very attached to, like my car once I was 16. That always worked. I always learned my lesson because I wanted my car back. So for her, she's 14, like maybe social media or her phone, that might work.
Carrots.
Or carrots in this case. So how about you? How would you discipline this teen if she were your child? And do you think the school is taking this too far? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. Did you know you can make your own dildo? Yes, that is a real question. More importantly, would you want a dildo shaped like Justin Bieber's privates? Well, Clone a Willy does. Let's see if I can get through this story without just losing it. The do-it-yourself dildo maker has asked the singer to advertise the product, and they will give him $1 million to do so, since clearly he needs $1 million. What? The brand says its kit produces a vibrating silicone replica of any penis in the comfort of your own home. And Justin was recently caught naked by paparazzi, you may recall, while vacationing in Bora Bora. Bieber has said the event made him feel very violated, understandably so. His lawyers issued a cease and desist letter to the tabloid and threatened to sue them. Now, Clone a Willy has cojones in more ways than one, because I think that they know just as well as we do, Justin Bieber would never endorse a make-your-own dildo company for $1 million. He does not need $1 million. This is, well, sort of off-brand. I was going to say, he was flashing his junk in Bora Bora. I don't think it stands a chance. I think it's a PR thing. And hey, bravo, because it worked. They jumped on a headline. And hey, that PR person at Clone a Willy probably deserves a raise. What do you guys think? Nate, let's start with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think Clone a Willy got
I'm sorry.
a ton of
Every time I hear
saying
the
Clone a
name.
Willy with a straight face. DIY dildo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they got a ton of free international press off of this, and they didn't spend a dime. They knew going into it, I'm sure, that it was going to get coverage, but they weren't ever actually going to have to pay him any money. So kudos to them. But I am disappointed. Honestly, I'll get on my soapbox.
Yeah.
Like, I think his privacy was invaded.
I do too. I do too.
It bugs me. It bugs me that it's like still a thing that we're talking about. I don't, and using the phrase like caught on camera. Like, I mean, he was on vacation with his girlfriend and somebody was hiding in the bushes taking pictures of his dick, and like that person should be in jail.
Yeah,
so.
and I think it's a whole nother discussion, but I agree that like celebrities are humans as well, and they deserve the same privacy that normal people do.
Yeah.
So, but back to Clone a Willy. Robby, what do you think about that?
Well, I was very surprised that they have $1 million to offer. I was like, this is apparently
popular.
It's a much
Lucrative.
more desired item than I thought. Personalized do-it-yourself dildos. I guess it can give you $1 million. That's $1 million idea, guys. So I was actually very impressed that they even are that successful. Was actually my take on this story. Whether Justin takes it or not, like I do want to kind of see that. That would be, I don't like, as like an advertisement where he's like, come on. That's how is he gonna?
If you thought the picture was good, just wait till you get my Clone a Willy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh goodness. Okay, personal question: should sex toys be more accepted in society? Nate, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm all for getting rid of all the.
Yeah.
I'm all for sex toys. I mean, I don't think they need to be in the children's section of Target, but not that kind of toy. But yeah, there shouldn't be any stigma. There shouldn't be any kind of an issue with it anymore.
Yeah, Robby, how about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like do what you want to do, and go ahead. My only concern is if sex toys become more accepted, will dildos be less funny? That's just that's my only concern. If we are more open about our dildos. Is that word going to be, because that's a funny word.
Yeah,
that's a
and
very
we
funny
always want to laugh at Clone a Willy. Like once that becomes not laughable, then we've got a problem.
boy.
But in general, I think we should talk about sex more because I feel like sex is still so taboo in so many families and situations, and we should just be more okay about sex, and with that comes sex toys.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we should be talking about sex toys more often? And do you think Justin Bieber should accept this endorsement deal? Let us know in the comment section below. And hey, thanks so much for joining us for this double-decker show. I want to give Nate and Robby a chance to let you guys know where you can find them. Nate, let's start with you.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Nate Clark Show. I do satirical, political commentary, social commentary. I basically talk about whatever the hell I feel like talking about. And if you're in Los Angeles, I perform at the Upright Citizens Brigade. Every month I've got a musical comedy show called Quick and Funny Musicals.
And Robby, how about you?
Cool. You can find me on my YouTube channel. Sorry to steal your thunder, but and that's Robby the Motz with YouTube.com/Robby the Motz. And you can find me on other projects that I'm doing around on the internet, kind of randomly. Sorry, there's no one direct way, but if you want to find those things, you can follow me on Twitter with this thing. So
Awesome. And you can find me on all the social media sites at Alex Wehrley, just my name, keeping it simple. And thank you so much for having me on The Point and for watching. Don't worry, Anna will be back in just a couple weeks. So if you miss her, she will be back. Thanks again, and don't ever be afraid to make your point. And that deserves to be talked about, whereas the NYPD protesting or boycotting Quentin Tarantino films, to me, just seems like an immature 8th grade move, basically being like, because you don't agree with us, I'm going to reject you. So I want to know what you guys think. Nate, make your point.
I think it was great that he did it. I really think anytime a celebrity uses their celebrity to sort of bring awareness to a cause, I didn't know anything about the Rise Up October movement. Obviously, I know Black Lives Matter because they've been getting all the press. And I think him taking the opportunity to use his celebrity to push the conversation forward is a great thing, whether you agree with him or not. And everybody should agree with him because it's an important issue.
Absolutely. Robby, what about you?
yeah, I agree. I think it's great what Quentin is doing, but I think I think it's such a horrible move that NYPD has done. Offering the sort of backlash to that rally because they're speaking out against police brutality. They're not saying down with NYPD. So it comes off as NYPD is defending the actions of those select police officers, which I think is no, they obviously acted incorrectly.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to The Point. I am Alex Wehrley, filling in for Anna, who is on vacation, and it must be a long vacation because we are doing a double-decker show for you today, and it is going to be a very fun show. I am joined by Nate Clark, triple threat musician, comedian, and actor. How's it going, Nate?
It's great. It's great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you're a first-timer.
I am. Yeah.
Welcome.
Ooh.
And
No, it's
I'm
Popping my point cherry. Yeah.
And I'm a first-timer hosting, so we will get through this together. Oh, actually, Robby Motz, you are going to have to ride this wave with us because you've been a panelist before.
Stay with me, kids. You'll be okay.
Yes, exactly. YouTube personality. So glad you're here. So coming up, the NYPD is boycotting a Quentin Tarantino film. We will tell you why. Plus, we've got some bad news for bacon lovers. Processed meats may rank alongside smoking as one of the leading causes of cancer. And would you endorse a dildo company for $1 million? That is a decision that Justin Bieber needs to make. I'm not kidding here. But first, we start with Quentin Tarantino. Director Quentin Tarantino joined a political activist group on the streets in New York to protest against police brutality. He also spoke to a crowd of protesters in Washington Square Park about the tragic loss of lives like Tamir Rice.
Cleveland, Ohio. On November 22nd, 2014, Tamir was playing with a toy gun in the park. After a 9/11 call where the person calling said the gun was probably a fake and the person holding it was probably a juvenile, the police rushed onto the scene and shot Tamir within 2 seconds. Then they knocked down and handcuffed his sister and locked her in the police car. And they would not allow his mother to hold her lifeless child who lay dead in the street. After almost a year, there's been no charges filed and not even a grand jury selected.
Very powerful speech there, but this is where the story gets even better, okay? The New York Police Department is now asking people to boycott Tarantino films, all right? Now, the rally was the third in a series of protests by activist group Rise Up October to speak out against police brutality. Now, I think both sides, Quentin Tarantino and the NYPD, definitely have the right to protest, but I think Quentin Tarantino definitely has the better cause. I mean, police brutality is a conversation more apt to listen if there's a comedic element. I mean, that's why The Daily Show does so well. It's serious topics, but in a funny light. How about you? How do you protest things?
I took a dump on somebody's car once.
Okay, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I think that qualifies as humor,
I think
though,
it's
too.
is that protest or was that just?
Yeah, no, it was. I was personally protesting something, but yeah, I mean, and I acknowledged it. I said, "Hey, this is a thing that I just did because you deserved it."
That's my protest on your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm a typical millennial. I take to social media, so I use the hashtags, give my 2 cents. And have you noticed that people often change their Facebook profile picture in support of different causes?
Yeah.
I definitely do that as well. But let us know, what do you think? How do you protest something? And what do you think about the NYPD boycotting a Quentin Tarantino film? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you soon. A political artist was refused a bulk order of Lego for an upcoming art piece in Australia, exploring freedom of speech, ironically. Now, Weiwei announced the rejection in an Instagram post. He calls the refusal an act of censorship and discrimination. Lego says they cannot approve of the toys for political works, so of course
Why can't you join in us and say that those police officers did not act appropriately, but like we will? I think they're taking ownership of someone else's mistakes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Not only is it immature, it's also in poor taste because indirectly they're kind of saying what you're saying doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they're not taking the police brutality seriously. So here's the personal question. How do you protest something you don't agree with? Robby, we'll start with you this time.
With humor. All the time. So, and maybe that's because I don't like direct confrontation with people, but, I really should maybe get into satire videos. I think I would enjoy that. But for the most part, when I'm talking to people, either who have opposing views or, are confused about a subject or whatever, and I want to convey a point, oftentimes I will kind of with humor and easy to understand terms, kind of explain those things. I don't get angry with signs. I'm not good at that. I don't think I'm intimidating looking, so I don't want to go out. I don't know. That's not who I am. So I like to kind of mock the issue in a way that hopefully makes people realize the contrasting viewpoint.
Yeah, I feel like people are